Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Full Heel Podcast coming back at you guys with another breakdown of NXT TakeOver Chicago. This card was so good, I had to come back and talk about it again. I had my guest Frankie here on, I think it was Monday. We were talking about it. He really doesn't watch WWE, so I just needed someone to bounce my ideas off of. And today I have my not old judge, because I guess he didn't judge, my old co-host, Monsoon Mendez.
Yo. Hey, man, I also co-founded this thing.
Yeah, no, yeah, he started it with me.
Come on.
Yeah. So he's back, his long-awaited return. We were trying to get together before
I'm like
this.
The Undertaker, dude.
Yeah, you just keep coming back?
Yeah, I come back every now and again. But when I come back, it means something.
Yeah. Yeah, so I should probably get on that one. Okay, yeah, so we're here to talk about NXT TakeOver Chicago, which we were both at.
We were
live.
both at that event.
Yep, because we're residents of Chicago, of course.
We sure are.
Yeah, so I've been to a couple of them with you now, to a couple of Raws, house shows. I haven't been to any SmackDown. And I guess this was the first pay-per-view because it's an NXT pay-per-view. But I haven't been to any pay-per-views, and I chose not to go to Backlash. And we are kind of talking about it earlier, how we both chose.
We both could have easily gone.
Yeah, but
I think that we went to the better show.
Yeah.
Of the weekend.
We definitely went to the better show of the weekend. So it was Saturday, NXT Chicago. What was it, the 20th? I don't
21st?
21st. So
somewhere along there.
Yeah.
That timeline.
Yeah, I didn't watch NXT today, but so the matches that opened up were the matches for today.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
I didn't know that.
I haven't watched it, but most likely that's what it is. And
I mean, this is the first time I'm hearing that, so it makes sense.
I saw it online too. It had was it Drew McIntyre?
Yeah,
he
Drew
beat
McIntyre, formerly of Drew.
Who did he beat?
TNA.
He beat Blake, and that those were the results.
Yeah, he beat Blake.
So I'm guessing they just used the same.
Blake of formerly of Blake and Murphy.
Yeah, and Alexa Bliss came out of that. She was the manager.
Yeah, she was with them.
Yeah, so and then she kind of started doing her own singles thing and broke off because they were losing, and now she's there. Oh, she's red hot right now, dude.
Yeah.
She's 3-time NXT or not NXT? She's 3-time women's champion.
Women's champion.
She did not win it once on NXT. Can you get closer than that, Hoju? Just so it sounds the same.
Okay.
For me and you. You can move the arm up a little bit if you want.
Oh well, that works too.
Yeah. That way you don't got to crouch down and shit.
Podcasting, brother.
Yeah, it's podcasting, brother. I got their pop filters so the peas don't pop. Yeah, but she was never NXT champion. She was she moved up to the main card right away when they did the brand split, and she went to SmackDown. No, she went to Raw.
Well, that was before the draft, wasn't it?
Yeah, so for the draft, she went to Raw, stayed there for like a year, and then they did Shake Up, and now she's on SmackDown. That's what it was. Sorry.
Yeah, and then I don't think they had a lot of faith in her when she was on NXT.
No, they didn't.
I don't think they saw the potential.
Mm-mm. But
it wasn't until probably the end of her run at NXT that they kind of saw something.
Okay, well,
because I remember thinking, what do they see in her? I don't see it, but now she's gotten way better.
Yeah. So the point is, if you guys don't watch NXT, watch NXT. That's why we're talking about this TakeOver Chicago, because it was just too good not to go over again.
Yeah, it was actually pretty good. It's weird because they usually do the takeovers before the big shows like WrestleMania, Survivor Series.
Yeah.
But they did one this time around a secondary show, so I thought that was a little weird.
Yeah, they did it for Backlash, which is kind of weird. So
especially considering that they did one right before WrestleMania, which wasn't too long ago.
Yeah. So the opening one was for the opening match was Roderick Strong versus Eric Young from Sanity.
Yeah. These are two guys that are not developmental talent. They should be on the main roster. Eric Young is a former TNA top talent. He was their champion at some point, maybe even more than once.
After Bubba, right? after Aces and Eights, a little bit after, actually a while after him. But I remember because I would go back and watch it every so often.
Yeah, and I remember everybody was giving him crap for being champion, for TNA putting the belt on him, but I thought that he was pretty effective. I actually liked it.
I think we talked about this in our earlier episodes. We have earlier episodes of the Cruiserweight Classic. I have to upload it tomorrow.
It might have been around that time.
Yeah, I remember talking when he came in to NXT. It might be around there. I'll listen to it again, and I'll upload the 10 episodes, which I've been saying. Sorry guys, I need to upload them. That's more wrestling content. I'm going to try to get more wrestling content on the full heel.
The early
shows. The full 10. Yeah, the full 10 episodes that we did. You were on 9 of them. I did like a 20-minute episode.
Yeah, we covered most of that Cruiserweight Classic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But so I never really followed these guys' career. I had just seen Eric Young somewhat, and then I just know Roderick Strong got his neck broke by AJ Styles.
Well, yeah,
but
he's probably well known for being on the receiving end of a botched Styles Clash. Is that what it is? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he did some notable work in Ring of Honor. I believe he was their champion as well. And if I remember correctly, he was feuding with one of the Briscoes in Ring of Honor. I'm probably wrong about that, but yeah, I know him from Ring of Honor. I actually have had drinks with him after one of the Ring of Honor shows. He's a pretty cool guy. But yeah, these two guys are seasoned talent that I think would be way more beneficial on the main roster right now. But considering how the main roster looks, they might get lost in the shuffle.
Well, I kind of was scared for NXT because they brought up a lot of their guys. They brought up Shinsuke, Finn, Samoa. They brought up a lot of their good guys, and I was kind of scared for them. But these guys are keeping it strong, especially with their wrestling. I didn't think Roderick Strong had too much of a character to him. But he had
man, have you seen any of the
vignettes?
Yeah, those are so good.
Well, that's why I wasn't behind him at first. So, and not necessarily are the vignettes what got me behind him. More of his wrestling style. I guess I just hadn't seen too much of it, and I guess the crowd reaction too. The crowd got really behind him, chanting, "Let's go!"
Yeah, well, I feel a lot of that crowd.
Roddy
knows who he is.
Yeah, a lot of the crowd knew who he was.
Yeah.
I also want to bring up, did you notice how there was very, very few, maybe 2 that I can remember CM Punk chants at?
Oh man, that crowd shot down those chants.
Oh yeah,
so quick.
The NXT crowd is not taking that shit. I heard it a couple times behind me, like started like CM Punk, and people were like, "Shut up!"
Yeah, I feel like whoever tried to start that chant was probably at Backlash the next night.
Yeah, that's what I was.
They have to be more casual fans.
Yeah, me and my brother were laughing. We're like, they're not getting stopped tomorrow. Tomorrow they're going off with and I didn't really pay attention to the crowd. I was doing a lot more other stuff, like podcast stuff on the background. I was watching it, but
I only watched like half of that.
Yeah, after TakeOver, it wasn't going to win me over, wrestling wise. Well, their story.
There wasn't a lot of good. I mean, there. Okay, maybe I'm phrasing that a little wrong. I mean, but there wasn't a lot of stuff that was drawing me in.
Mm-hmm. Well, we can get a little bit into it right now.
And the half that I watched.
I didn't think Roderick Strong was going to win going in, but he pulled off the victory.
I did.
He's got a really badass finisher. What is it, a suplex going into a backbreaker? Or like, he lets him drop into his knees.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what that's called, but I've seen him do it.
Yeah, I didn't know that was his finisher, which is a pretty badass finisher. I play the 2K17. I have the power bomb into the backbreaker.
Yeah. No, I thought this was a really good match for two guys that, or rather, I should say that I'm surprised that they let 2 guys that were not actually developmental talent start off the show. But I think that it was a good opportunity to showcase the other 2 guys of Sanity. I don't remember their names at the moment.
Killian
Dane and
something Wolf. Alexander Wolf,
yeah.
Yeah, the guy that looks like Josh Barnett.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, they all fit into that so good. Well, not so much Killian, but he does fit into it somewhat. He seems like a Viking of sorts, not so much like a crazy person of today. But even Nikki Nikki Cross, who had an NXT Women's Championship match later on.
We'll get into that.
Yeah, we can get into that. Yeah, but like I said, I didn't think Roderick Strong is going to win, but I think he won me over as the match went on, especially with the crowd getting behind him. And like you said, the vignettes. The vignettes were a big part.
Yeah, I think they're setting him up for a big run in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I don't know what they have planned for Eric Young. I have a feeling he's probably going to be in NXT for a long time. He's probably going to be like an NXT mainstay.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like that guy that, he can work well. He can help showcase some of the younger talent that isn't quite as experienced. So, I don't know. At the end of the day, I guess that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of a shame that if they do have Eric Young poised for that position, because he does have a lot of talent.
Do you think
but also if they moved him up to the main roster, he'd get way lost in that shuffle.
Do you think they don't move him up because kind of Dean Ambrose is like a mild version?
No, I think they won't move him up because they know that he can get guys that they want over. Hence what I think this match was. Their attempt to get Roderick Strong over.
Yeah, then they got him over really well.
Yeah, they did. And it also helps that the crowd knows who he is, too.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go, Roddy.
Yeah. Yep, Roddy Strong.
Yeah, Roddy Strong. The crowd, dude. I think a big part of me getting over on him was the crowd.
Yeah, but he's damn good.
Yeah. Yeah. Who do you think he feuds with next? Do you think they continue the Eric Young, or do you think he moves on to Cien Almas? Or maybe a Tommy feud?
See, that's what I was thinking. Like, maybe they stick a Tommy in there.
Mm-hmm. When's the tag team shit going on? Because I know they like tagging everyone together.
Yeah, isn't that like the Dusty...
Yeah, the Dusty Rhodes Classic. When is that? Because I know did you hear the Mae Young Classic?
No, is that the women's
That's the women's tournament. That's what it's going to be called. But I don't know when
Is that going to be like a 10-week thing? Like the...
I don't know.
Cruiserweight Classic?
I don't know because the UK thing was it? No, it was like
that was like over a weekend.
Mm-hmm. It was over a weekend. Yeah, I'm not sure about the Mae Young thing. I think the details will emerge as we go.
Yep.
But where was I?
Yeah, so we were talking about the match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the cruise. Where do you think the tag thing? And that should be coming up soon.
Yeah, I think it's towards the end of summer, if I'm not mistaken.
Then we still got a while. We still got another good feud.
Like mid to late summer. I think it starts like mid-summer, goes into late summer, like August, September, that time frame.
Yeah, so Roderick Strong picks up the victory and hightails it, so Sanity won't beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, they got in the ring, they tried to do their thing, and Roddy Strong got out of there.
Yeah.
But like I said, I thought it was a good showcasing of the other guys of Sanity.
Yeah.
As well.
Are the other guys feuding with anybody? Maybe they could tag Roderick with somebody, and they can have Eric Young and one of their Sanity members versus Roderick Strong, and maybe they can develop something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I see the other guys in their tag division.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe going against the Authors of Pain at some point.
Maybe. Yeah. What about Heavy Machinery against the Authors of Pain? Well, I guess we could talk about that when we get there.
Yeah.
To the tag match. Which leads us next into the Tyler Bate versus Pete Dunne for the UK title.
Yeah. I went into this like not knowing
dude.
much.
I was totally naive on the whole thing just because. So when we started off this show, the Full Heel Podcast, I like wrestling. I like UFC. You like wrestling. You somewhat like MMA.
Yep.
You're more of the wrestling guy. I'm more of the MMA guy.
Yep.
And that's what we started on. You got a lot more busy, school, work. You had kids. You got a wife. All that crazy shit. So I had to continue it on, and I just focused more on WWE. And
that all happened within the year.
Yeah, within the year, and MMA. And I'm trying to focus. I'm trying to divide up not the time, but put more content out for wrestling stuff because I kind of did more MMA stuff. Like I said, you were more of the wrestling guy.
Yep.
I'm more of the. So you not mentioning any of this to me, like the UK stuff, I really didn't pay attention to it just because I didn't. I'm like, well, if Jesus didn't mention it.
I mean, I remember when it was.
I remember. I know you like Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah, but I don't even know if he was in this tournament.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Because I just did not pay attention to this tournament. I remember when they unveiled the bell and like they announced the tournament and it was going to be over a weekend. I remember all that stuff. That was like back in January. But this wasn't anything that I actually followed. I don't know, for some reason, to me, it didn't seem as appealing as that of the Cruiserweight Classic.
Yeah, no, maybe we could talk about a little bit about little diversion. So I don't. The Cruiserweight Classic was epic. I'll release those episodes because we did 10 weeks on that, and not knowing what the Cruiserweight Classic was gonna be going into it, like we had so much content to talk about with it because it was so good, and 205 Live is not living up to anything.
Oh no, it's complete day and night.
Yeah, it's they need to do something with that because how can you have such a great tournament for the cruiserweights and then turn it into pure dog shit at 205 really. Live?
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on there, and I hope they fix it. But back to Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne.
Yep.
So match of the night. Possibly match of the year, dude.
Yeah, what an awesome match.
And that's, look, here it is. That's without JR's commentary. Me and Jesus were there live, no commentary.
Oh man, when JR came out, everybody went nuts.
Yeah, the whole crowd, awesome. Like, and then the crowd's reaction to this whole match was epic. So at times they were chanting "Fight Forever." Was it UK? What were they? UK title? There was. I don't. They were chanting something about the UK in Chicago.
Yep.
Like that doesn't happen. They were doing it. It knocks down borders in a sense. This was wrestling. This wasn't UK. This wasn't America. This wasn't Canadian wrestling. This was all fucking. This was just wrestling.
Yeah.
Like it didn't matter where you were from. You just liked what you were watching.
Yeah. Yeah. They had really good chemistry. Dude, I love Bruiserweight.
Yeah, the Bruiserweight.
Yeah.
Pete Dunne.
Yeah. He's such an awesome heel.
Yeah.
He has
Full Heel Podcast.
Yeah, there you go. He has like I don't know, he has like this heel charisma. Like you want to hate him.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is a great heel in that respect. Like this is a guy you can hate.
Yeah. So when they started off the tournament and when they announced everyone and they had him elbow one of the tournament dudes, that was awesome. I don't know if you saw that.
I kind of remember that.
So they had they lined up everyone with I don't know if it was Regal or it might have been Triple H. They might have been both out there. I'm not sure because I didn't see the tournament. I just saw this was for the announcement. So they're announcing everyone and Pete Dunne fucking elbow smashes someone in the face.
I kind of remember that.
And they all stop him like, hey, what are you doing?
I kind of remember that.
He's a fucking badass heel.
Yeah.
Tyler Bate going into it, I thought was a little bit more plain.
I do know that both of these guys wrestled for Progress Wrestling. Mm-hmm. They were part of a stable called British Strong Style.
Yeah,
that's all I know. So
I'm in a couple of groups and I comment and I get a little bit of information. Like there was a thread today that I was talking to a bunch of people. Shout outs to them. But we were talking about just how good of a match it was, just how epic of a match it was.
Yeah.
And yeah, fucking badass heel. And then like I said, I didn't know much about Tyler Bate because I don't know. I guess he's young, and I don't watch UK wrestling, but they're getting him out there very well. They're exposing him pretty well.
It's funny because I think you know who MVP is?
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, he said something like, "Oh, these guys aren't even good yet, and look how good they are."
Yeah, look at the match they put on.
Like he meant like they're not seasoned yet.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
They're not seasoned yet, and look how good they are,
dude. Yeah, because they're both really young.
Yeah,
they're both really fucking young.
Yep, I think these two guys would make a great addition to the main roster, and I feel like
main roster as in the cruiserweights.
No, like
so here's the thing. I think these guys would help out the cruiserweight, like the 205 Live thing, if they're trying to keep it.
I can agree with that. Yeah,
because to tell you the truth, I think they get lost in even with these great matches.
Yeah.
They're not going to have as much time on Raw or SmackDown as they should have because we're gonna get Roman Reigns feuding with anybody and everybody, which isn't bad. I guess this is why we have these other shows, but they do have the time though on Raw's 3 hours. They have the time for this. They're just not using it right.
Here's something interesting. What do you think this match would have done, or how well do you think this match would have done, like on Raw? This is just a regular Raw match in the middle of a 3 hour Raw.
I think it would have done really well.
Or if it got on like in the middle of Backlash.
I think it would have done really well.
You think it would have done just as well and gotten the same critical reception?
Yeah, I just think Raw and SmackDown for some reason aren't geared that way. They're fucking...
No, they're not. Those shows are run... It almost reminds me like a variety show. You know, where there's like something for everyone. Whereas NXT has that... It's trying to be Ring of Honor, but with a bigger budget.
Yeah. Well, they're bringing in all the indie guys.
Yeah, and that's
big time for
that's
indies.
Another scary thing.
Yeah, they're like killing the indies.
Yeah, really. And then if you
is it so? I don't know. I don't know if the reports are right that WWE is like their stock is down or their views are down. But like wrestling,
it makes sense.
Wrestling to me is like on an all-time rise, like all around.
But that's the thing. It's not WWE wrestling that's on a rise.
Yeah.
It's everything else.
Yeah. But NXT to a certain extent is building, maybe because it's new and they're not doing.
Well, I think it's one of those things where it's still a WWE product, but it strays away from what you would expect if you were watching like a Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah.
So it's still WWE, but it's still different. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
And like it's easy to find if you don't have access to like Ring of Honor or any of the other independent promotions.
To be honest, I think the UK title should either. It doesn't make sense on 205 Live. I think it makes sense as a mid-card title for NXT.
Well, it's a division. Really, if you think about it.
Yeah, because it's only UK guys, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it like only United Kingdom guys can fight for it?
They should honor that, I feel.
If you're getting rid of the European title and you got rid of it altogether and you brought in the UK title, then you kind of have to have that.
It's funny because I think that's what they were trying to do back in the day.
Well, look, there's a European and there's an Intercontinental. Is it Intercontinental all of them? All the continents?
Yeah.
And then the European should just be European then. Like, I didn't get that before. Like, anyone could win the European title before.
Yeah, but this time around they're doing it. I mean, they did it in
yeah.
In the UK.
So
they should honor that. They should keep only UK talent.
Yeah. But do they get their own show, like a weekly show? How does that go?
No, I think it should be to me, I would put it as a division in NXT.
Like
you have a UK division in NXT.
Like keep the title there, but only UK guys.
Yeah.
Bring in more UK guys.
Yeah. That's what I would do.
I could see that.
Because there's already way too much content as it is. Mm-hmm.
To try to bring in a whole nother fucking weekly show of just UK guys.
Yeah, you have 205 Live, and you have fucking UK Weekly or whatever the hell they would call it.
I would like them just to incorporate the cruiserweights into Raw altogether and SmackDown and just have it. Well, see, here's the thing with the brand split. They can't really do that anymore. Like, have it defended on both. You kind of have to give it to one promotion. And that...
I always said... I've said it before on here, too. I always said they should have the Cruiserweights, an exclusive WWE Network show. You can show, like, highlights on either Raw or SmackDown and be like, you can see all the Cruiserweights only on the WWE Network, on this time, on this day, and... that kind of thing. I always said it should be a network exclusive show. There's value in that. And I think in that respect, you don't have to like come up with all these weird storylines to come up with now. Mm-hmm. If it's only an hour long show, you have an hour to pack all your shit in, and you get more wrestling than anything.
Like, that's what this was, just wrestling.
Yeah.
This match was just wrestling. Very little story. Well, the story wrote itself because the tournament was there.
The stories, as cheesy as it sounds, the stories were written in the ring.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So why do you think it couldn't transition like that for the cruiserweights? Because the tournament was crazy. Why didn't you continue it on to there?
I think they're treating it like if it were Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah. Because does it seem like Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano stole the energy from the Cruiserweight Classic and used it to propel themselves to NXT champions?
It helped.
It did. That definitely helped
them out a lot. I mean, you saw the match they put on. That was probably one of the best matches that stands out to me from that tournament.
And it was maybe in the second round or the first round. I think it might have been first round of the tournament.
I think it was the first round.
Yeah, epic match. Go back and watch it. Like I said, I'll release some of those episodes that we did on the Cruiserweight Classic.
I remember we put that match over pretty good.
Yeah, we did. We put it over. We put it over, brother. He hit him with a bicycle. Isn't that your favorite line?
Yeah, that's a Dusty Rhodes classic.
Dusty Rhodes, yep.
So
we didn't talk about too much about this match, but Tyler Bate versus Pete Dunne, awesome match. Pete Dunne hits his finisher first. Well, first of all, it started off with like technical grappling, technical holds, headlocks, shit like that. Submission.
Yeah, it's and that's very standard for British wrestling.
Yeah.
It's
more of an old school style.
Yeah, it's very technically based.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things that I liked from Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah, Zack Sabre Jr. did, but I think he overdid it. Maybe because everyone else was showcasing their style. Yeah, everyone was showcasing their style. That he was like, I'm gonna stick to what I'm good at, and I'm gonna showcase my style a little bit more. Because they do have to do a little bit of everything, but I think he did a little bit more of holds and shit like that. But I think they were kind of pushing them towards doing that. Oh, he's a submission specialist.
I think that broke up the high flying pretty nicely. Like, you had a nice variety of different styles, and I think that's why to me it stood out so much, because it actually gave the whole thing some levity.
So Pete Dunne hits his finisher. Tyler Bate kicks out. Shit, man, I keep on skipping over a lot of shit. A lot of technical holds. Yeah, no, and so Pete Dunne hits his first finisher. This guy kicks out, and they keep it going. These guys had a lot of back and forth that was really, really good. Yep. They started brawling at one point where they were just throwing punches to where they sell that where they're exhausted. They both act like they're exhausted after fucking just duking it out. They both exchange various moves off the rope, like forearms off the ropes, kicks off the ropes, and they both do like their little signature thing off the ropes, like a cartwheel kick. I think it was from, or like a spinning, like he just spins forward into it, like he drops into it. Bate did. I forgot what Dunne did. Pete Dunne, I think, just fucking like almost like a big boot of sorts.
Yeah, that sounds about right for him.
Yeah, and so he hits his finisher. Tyler Bate kicks out. A lot of back and forth. One of my favorite things wasn't even a move. It was an off the rope thing by Tyler Bate where he throws him and he comes off the ropes, a bounce back, but he dives into it and bounces off with his shoulders. He kind of tucks his neck or his head down, and he bounces off the ropes and he comes back. It wasn't even a move or anything. Just the uniqueness of that, seeing a bounce back off the ropes.
Yeah.
You usually see him turn around and come back and like receive a clothesline or reverse it into something. He bounced back, and I think he reversed it into something. And there was a ton of reversals in this match. A lot of unique moves that I hadn't seen before. My favorite out of the whole thing was when Pete Dunne went for his... I don't know what his finisher is called. What is his finisher?
That I don't know.
Like he tosses him up in the air, almost like I don't even know how to explain it, but Tyler Bate reversed it into a DDT.
Yeah. I remember that. I'm like, I'll be honest with you, I didn't watch the show from seeing it live.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, you did? I watched it 3 times. Like I watched it 2 more times, and they said it. I should have wrote it down. I didn't.
Yeah.
like an idiot, smoking too much bud. But yeah, no. So he reverses his finisher, and he's like literally in the air and reverses it into a DDT, and plants him with a DDT, and then eventually he hits. Pete Dunne actually hits his finisher and gets the pin.
Yep.
They both hit their finishers how many times? Pete Dunne hit it
I don't know, but I remember thinking it was a little excessive.
3 times, and Bate might have hit it twice.
I'm not a real big fan of, you hit your finisher, you go for the pin, and you kick out.
Mm-hmm.
And then you hit your finisher again, and you still kick out. I'm not a real big fan of that. I think it weakens your finisher.
And then the next match, they had the women's, which I thought it was Bobby Roode, and I was gonna get into it like how because they kicked out a bunch, but it was a women's. No, I was gonna skip over that, but sorry. Yeah, well, I didn't want to skip over that.
We'll touch back on that.
Yeah,
in that match.
So next we had the women's match. We had Asuka defending against Nikki Cross and Ruby Riott. Ruby Riott won me over in this match. I didn't like her as much.
She's won me over.
I did not necessarily like her as much. I just really didn't think much about her.
Yeah.
Before this match, and then I guess her wrestling kind of.
All three of them are so good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I honestly thought this was the match that Asuka was going to lose her title.
I thought so too until.
And actually, there was supposed to be a fourth girl, right?
I thought so too until Ember Moon got injured and fell out.
I'm convinced that Ember Moon was probably going to win.
Yeah, she was definitely. Asuka's not losing until this girl comes back.
Yeah,
I don't see anyone else.
But she has that Goldberg-like streak.
She beat it.
Yeah, she beat Goldberg's streak. So I wonder if at this point maybe they should write it out for as long as they can. They should just let her keep it for as long as they can.
But they have to give Ember Moon the title, dude. I'm
not saying don't give it to Ember Moon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying let Ember Moon come back. Asuka's putting out these girls left and right. Then she's kind of got that unstoppable, and then Ember Moon comes in and just takes her out. That's kind of how that's how I would book it.
Yeah, I don't see anyone taking it from her till Ember Moon gets back.
I would hope so. She's actually really good too.
Yeah, they need to build some of these girls, which I can see it happening, but they need to. I thought maybe Nikki Cross could have won. I saw her being champion.
I kind of thought she should.
Yeah,
that night I kind of thought she should.
Yeah, if anything, that's the night that they should have made her win.
Yeah,
and she didn't win it, so I don't know what's going to happen with that.
Well, at some point, I'm sure
they should.
Yeah,
they should give it to her.
I think she's one of the best they have there. Not anything against Ruby Riott, but I think she's
Ruby Riott's still a little young. She hasn't been there as long as these girls, and she's not better than them at wrestling. I'm not saying she's worse, but she's not better than them, and she hasn't been there as long. So you got to develop her a little bit more.
Yeah.
And like I said, she won me over this match, so we'll see where they go with that. And like we were saying, Asuka's probably next opponent is Ember Moon.
When is she retained to come back, dude? Do you know?
Dude, I heard it was 6 months. I hope not.
So if that's the case, she's probably not going to come back till December.
Yeah.
So from now to then, I don't know. They should have Asuka do a one-on-one with both Ruby Riott and Nikki Cross.
Another triple threat?
No,
1-on-1.
Yeah, do a little feud with Nikki Cross, and then with Ruby Riott, then Ember Moon comes back.
Yeah, because the one to beat Asuka is Ember Moon, and then maybe the title. You move Asuka up, and then
she goes up.
Then the title can move hands, it can move around.
Yeah,
it can go to Nikki, it can go to Ruby, and maybe in that time you develop some other girls that can be in contention for the title.
Yeah.
So this was a good match. It kind of got shadowed by Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. Like, you had such a badass match, and then you had this one, which was good, but it wasn't as great. And then,
I don't know. It kind of, if I remember correctly, it was a little short, I thought.
And the finish was lackluster.
Yeah, where she pinned both.
Yeah, and like, I don't think the finish had, like, the finishers had oomph. You get me? Like,
I can kind of see where they're going though, and it's funny because I heard this on a podcast earlier, and I remember thinking the same thing. They're probably building it where she's like getting so good, her ego is gonna get so big, and then out of nowhere, Ember Moon's gonna come and she's gonna get beat because she underestimated Ember Moon.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably what it is. Like, it's like, oh look, she beat two girls this time. She pinned them both at the same time.
I actually like that. I just didn't like how the finishers, I guess, were executed. I think they were executed very weak to where I didn't know they were the finishers. You get me?
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I agree with that too.
Like that. Like, I like the fact that she pinned both of them.
Yep.
That was cool. But I was just like, whoa, why is she pinning them? And then you're like, oh yeah, one of her finishers is the knee.
Yeah.
Like, and then, like, I didn't know Ruby Riot's finisher, so I didn't know that was supposed to put out Nikki Cross.
Yeah.
Maybe you should. Well, I guess that was to make Ruby look strong. But like I said, I didn't know her finisher. Maybe I should be a little bit more educated since I'm doing a podcast. But I didn't know her finisher, so I do know Asuka, so I should have been a little bit more up to date on that. But like I said, I thought it was a little bit lackluster of a finish. Like, I liked the double pin. Just didn't like how the finishers were executed. Which brings us to our next match. Monsoon Mendez. And let me tell you something, brother. It was a glorious match. So we had a glorious Bobby Roode versus Hideo Itami. I was kind of confused at first as to why they would put I thought it would have been tag match, NXT women's match, Bobby Roode versus Hideo Itami for the main event.
No, I could see it. They did it because the tag team match was a ladder match.
Yeah.
So I guess they wanted to end on something big.
Yeah, I that's what I was like. And then when you texted me, you're like, I feel something coming. Yep. I was like, oh shit. I'm like, okay, now I know why this match is at the end. But we had Bobby Roode versus Itami. I'm not really too sold on Itami. My brothers talked to me about him more. Like I said, you were the wrestling guy. You've been more into New Japan. You know more about them. You're more studied on them, which I will get more. I
mean, I remember when they announced they were bringing him in,
mm-hmm.
and it was a big deal because that was a huge get. I feel like that was around the time when they started. Well, I should say that's when they started to get their influx of talent. When they started to basically pick out all these guys that they wanted from New Japan, from, the indie scene, from all those places. So he's he's big in that way that he was one of those first big gets. You know what I mean?
I remember it was like a big deal, but I remember I'm like, I don't know any of these Japan guys. Like, I know it was a big deal when they got Nakamura, and then I knew a little bit more about Asuka because I'm like, well, they're bringing in all these people. Let me figure out who they are. So I knew who Asuka was when she was coming in. Not so much about Nakamura. I had to look up about him, but I knew it was a big deal that Itami came over. Never really looked him up. He got injured a bunch, and they never really showcased him as much as they could and as much as they wanted. So I was never really sold on him. And my brother's like, well, he's like, I know why you're not sold on him. I'm like, why? He's like, everyone has his moveset that you've seen. He's like, everyone's taken his moveset, which he was known for in Japan. He's like, you have like his finisher taken by CM Punk. And he's like, a lot of the guys that you see wrestling now, like, have taken some of his stuff. I'm not sure if, like, he might have said AJ, but AJ, I don't think it said similar. More of the Japan guys, I guess.
I'm trying to think.
Like Finn.
I think,
No, he said Finn. He said Finn. Yeah,
Yeah,
Finn is very similar.
Yep.
He says he's like Seth uses a little bit of it, not too much. Like with the drop kicks and like shit like that.
Yeah.
Off the rope stuff. He does like stomps off the ropes too.
I think he does. But with him too, he's kind of been unlucky because he's gotten injured a lot. You know, he had that shoulder injury when he first came in.
You can see the scar on his shoulder.
Yeah, and then I think he got injured shortly after that, and then he came back. I think that's when, I don't remember if he got injured the second time before or after he did that feud with Austin Aries. But then I guess now, I don't know if he's coming. I think he's coming back like off of a minor injury. I'm not sure.
Yeah, this one wasn't as minor, right? The first one was a shoulder.
Yeah, the first one he was out for like a year.
Yeah, I remember that one was a while because everyone kind of forgot. And then this time again, it's like, oh fuck, he's injured again.
Yeah,
but then he came back.
Yeah, I think that's when I think he got injured when he was feuding with Austin Aries.
Yeah, but now he's back.
Yep, he's in the title picture. I guess I don't know. I wasn't following NXT too much to see the lead up to this match.
Like, what do you mean? Oh, like before this match? I thought you were talking about before.
Everything that led up to this match.
He came out in a suit one day and everyone's like, "Oh my god!" Because Bobby Roode was like, "I don't have anyone to face." Shinsuke ran away.
He was like in a white suit, right?
I think it was gray. If I not too dark. Yeah, it was a gray suit. He came out and Bobby Roode said something, and this guy, or he might have not said anything. I think he just opened up his arms like he does his glorious pose, and Hideo bitch slapped him. And I think that ended
so
that.
Cool.
Yeah, he just bitch slapped him. He might have said something too. And I think the lack of English kind of that's why the promos weren't there as much. Maybe that's why there wasn't as much build. And maybe it was kind of fast. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
I mean, it had to be that, like, because who else do they have that they can put against?
Yeah. I liked the Tommy a lot more after this match than I did going in.
Yeah.
I learned a lot more about him. Just seeing him fight for the title, I guess. I had seen him wrestle a couple times. I don't know. This one was a little bit different to me. I just haven't seen him as much in, like, I guess, main event matches.
Yeah, I knew that he was going to end up in the title picture at some point.
Do you think he wins it?
No.
Not anymore?
Unfortunately, no.
You think he gets brought up like Ty Dillinger?
No.
Do you think he stays at NXT?
Yeah, I do. Because I think they see him as a liability. Because of how often he's been injured.
Yeah. You might be right.
I mean, do you really want, from their perspective, do you really want a champion who's going to get injured easily?
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah. So I think they just see him as a liability at this point.
You could be right on that.
Which is unfortunate.
He'd be a great addition to the cruiserweights, in my opinion. It'd give the cruiserweights a little bit more weight, a little bit more names.
Yeah, but I don't think they put him in the cruiserweights. No. I think he's already established as an NXT guy.
Well, they've had a NXT crossover into the cruiserweights. Look at Aries.
That's true. But they needed star power.
And I'm telling you, Tommy will bring over some well-needed star power. Neville's doing a great job with his heel turn. But who else do you have there besides Aries that's like big time?
Wait, does Austin Aries even weigh 205?
Do you think he weighs more?
Yeah.
A lot of these guys do. Look at fucking Houston Alexander. Or not Houston, Sean Alexander? No. What's his name? Cedric Alexander.
Yeah.
Look at that guy. That guy's huge.
Yeah, there's no way some of these guys are making that 205.
Yeah, Tony Nese.
It used to be, I think, like 220 in WCW. to be a cruiserweight?
I don't remember.
There was a limit. And it was a lot higher than 205. I think it was like 230 or 220.
No. I think it's maybe 225.
It might have been 225.
I remember it was a 5. There was a limit.
But there was a limit, right? And it was way higher than 205.
I don't remember if it was higher than 205, to tell you the truth. We can look. We can go back and look after this.
I'm looking this up now.
You could. But so they both start the match. And I think it was an outside spot where
it was 220.
Hideo tries to... It was 220?
It was 220.
Hideo tries to land like a kick to Rude, which got his shoulder injured when he got tossed to the outside, I believe. I think Rude moves, and this guy slams into the stairs and injures his ankle or his knee, if not both.
Yeah.
Which will hinder him in the future for the go to sleep, his finisher. They're setting... So, when we were talking about earlier that you shouldn't kick out of your... that you shouldn't let people kick out of your finisher. It doesn't look strong if you let people kick out of your finisher.
It devalues it.
Yeah, it devalues it. These guys built it to where they were going to land their finishers, but they were both going to hurt each other in a key way.
To where it'll affect that, to where you can't hit it. See, that's different.
Yeah, see, that's different. They're telling the story.
Yes.
They're telling the story of, hey, I fucked up my leg, but this is the only way I can stop him.
I can't do my finisher all the way, but I'm still going to hit it.
Yeah.
And
Rude, he fucked up his shoulder. He can't land it. The perfect DDT, or the glorious DDT. Sorry, the glorious DDT. Shinsuke. Atami.
Jeez.
Atami fucks up his leg from fucking landing drop kick to the
stairs.
To the stairs. He
outside,
messes up his leg. Can't land the go to sleep because you have to fireman's carry him up, stand up, and then kind of toss him. Bring him down to your knee. So he can't do his move anymore. So I don't remember who went first for it. I think it was Rude went for the glorious DDT and couldn't get the good cover on him and not the right pop on or something on the DDT.
Yeah.
Atami kicks out. A little bit goes on, and Atami hits to go to sleep. But Rude rolls out of the ring, and Atami can't follow him because he's left nursing his leg after hitting the go to sleep.
Yeah, and I kind of like that he didn't he sold it very well. Is what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah.
He didn't go out and chase after him. I thought that was very good. Ring psychology, as they call it.
And I think this match lost a lot of it got shadowed as well with the women's title match because it was sandwiched in between two badass fucking memorable matches.
Yep.
Like on their own, those two matches on this card are easily up there for moments and matches of the year.
Yeah.
That's it. Just you.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've been putting this match over.
Yeah.
So,
like this match was really good. This whole card was good.
Yeah.
It just.
I'm pretty glad that I was able to go.
Yeah, I'm so happy I bought tickets. I'm so happy I got tickets for it and didn't go to Backlash because I almost bought Backlash tickets instead, but I'm like, nope.
We trust me, dude. We could have easily gone to Backlash, but I was not. I was not trying to go to that.
Yeah. So finally, Bobby Roode hits the glorious DDT, but he holds on to it, steps over in a little Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu move, kind of, and picks him back up while holding on to it again to the headlock.
Yeah.
Picks him up again for a second glorious DDT because he stepped over it. Hits him for the second one. Lands the pin for the second one. He needed a little bit extra because he was injured. That's how you sell a match, brother.
Yeah, that's awesome ring psychology. You tell a good story. It had everything that a lot of matches on Raw don't have.
Yeah. A lot of the matches on Raw are like...
I have a lot of complaints about Raw. But
we can do another episode where we just complain and complain. I'm trying to keep this a little bit more to NXT. Maybe a little bit of talk about mostly NXT. But by the time it looks like we're just going to do NXT. So, dude, Rude, two glorious DDTs.
I'm down for another episode where we talk about the problems that the main roster
we could definitely do another one.
Yeah, we will.
Whenever you're down, brother. Two
I come
glorious
back for next week,
DDTs.
brother.
1, 2, 3. And then, which brings us to the main event, the ladder match.
Dude, I went in there looking forward to this because I have never been in a live event for a ladder match.
Okay. I have, just at way smaller shows, which you
Maybe-
probably have too.
You know
as well.
what? Actually, I might have to take that back.
Yeah,
because
Ring of Honor. There was ladders there.
I remember going
Went to the
to...
Ring of Honor and there was ladders there, bitch.
That wasn't a ladder match, though, was it?
There was ladders?
There were ladders, but it wasn't a ladder match.
No, it wasn't a ladder match. You're right.
Um,
You got me on that one, brother.
I think I remember going to a
Well?
WCW 2000 show where there might have been a ladder match on there. Or some kind of gimmick match. Might
Yeah.
have been like a cage match or something.
I definitely have been to ladder matches. I think Rob Van Dam was involved in Windy City Pro Wrestling match. I don't know if they're still around. This was like a local Chicago show, and there was a ladder match. I was young. I don't remember too much about it. I'm not here to talk about that,
Yeah, same with
brother.
WCW Spring Stampede 2000. I was there.
But I love wrestling,
Yep.
and I love MMA. So that's why the Full Heel Podcast exists, brother.
Brother.
And because I love you, Jesus. And let me tell you something, brother. But yeah. So the last match was the ladder match.
Main event. I thought this was a good match to go out with.
So we'd gotten into a little bit. Gargano and Ciampa had a match on the Cruiserweight Classic. So they had started tagging right before this, and they were kind of popular before this together. They were names. Ciampa and Gargano were names. They got together as a tag team.
Yeah, I don't even think at that point they were known as DIY.
No, they were not known as DIY. So they went into
That came in like way after the Cruiserweight.
So they went into Cruiserweight Classic as a tag team, and they got paired up in the first round or the second. But very early on, they got paired up.
Yeah, and it was a freaking awesome match. That
Awesome.
it was almost like, fuck, I kind of don't want these two guys to fight, and I don't want to see one beat the other one.
And
But at the same time, they put on such a good match.
At the end of the match, I think Gargano wins and advances into the second round of the Classic. But at the end of the match, there's a classic scene where they're both left sitting in the middle of the ring. And,
Dude, it was almost the same thing.
It was
time
almost the same
around.
thing. But Ciampa changes it. He does the heel turn at the end of this one. But in the first one, he kind of like big brothers him.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You beat me, little man. You beat me." And then this one, so after Gargano wins, he doesn't win the tournament. They go on to win the tag titles from the Revival, which were a big tag team here on NXT.
Yeah.
Now they're on the main roster.
And those series of matches were really good too, because both tag teams were awesome.
Yeah.
That's why the Revival's on the main roster.
Yeah. So DIY, well, they're not a tag team anymore, but they'll both make it to the main roster. They're main roster guys.
Yeah, I think if Johnny Gargano can't get over on the main roster, I mean, dude, that's not gonna be his fault or his problem.
Yeah, it'll be the writing.
Yeah,
because
he's so lovable.
Yeah, dude, and
Johnny Wrestling.
Yep, Johnny Wrestling. So that one, Tommaso Ciampa, big brothers him. It ends. They become tag team champions. It's an awesome story, and they lose it to these big motherfuckers. These big motherfuckers.
Yeah.
The Authors of Pain. They're huge guys. Managed by Paul
Ellering.
Paul Ellering. And
Looks the same now as back in the day. The dude doesn't age.
So these guys took the title from Razor and I don't know the other guy's name.
I think it starts with like a D. I don't remember.
Something like that. I just know Razor's name. They have really weird names. They're just the Authors of Pain. They look exactly the same and they wear the same attire. So it's kind of hard to tell them apart and to remember their names. Because they didn't use it up until like recently. They started identifying them. So they might have always. I just never might have paid attention.
I think a year ago when we were covering NXT, I was very rough on the Authors of Pain. But I think they've come a long way.
Is it maybe because they're a really young talent?
Yeah, they were very green and inexperienced.
And look at them now. They've been champions for a little bit now.
But it also helps that they worked with Gargano and Ciampa.
Yeah. And to tell you the truth, I thought Gargano and Ciampa were going to win this because it was a ladder match.
I thought so too.
When that stipulation was introduced, I'm like, oh, they're giving DIY the titles again. And then, so, a little bit about the match before we get into what happened at the end.
Yep. There was a story in the match and then one after.
Epic. So, DIY finally figures out a way to somehow put a chink in these guys' armor without having a triple threat match. It's the ladder match. They're going to win.
Yep.
They're putting on a good show because they can use the ladders. They're faster than these guys, and they can incorporate the ladders to help them with power and strength.
Yep.
To take these guys down.
And some of these ladder spots, dude, they look really, really rough.
So there's a ladder spot out. I think it was the first ladder spot outside the ring where they set up ladders to from ring apron to barricade, and they set up Authors of Pain on them, and they get up on a huge single ladder, the bigger ladder, like twice as large as a regular ladder they use.
Yep.
20-foot ladder, I believe they called it. So they both get on each side of it, DIY.
Mm-hmm.
And they both kind of belly slam, like almost just like jump off, and just like a slam, not like a frog splash, but like a frog splash without the flailing of the arms and legs.
Yeah,
what do you call it?
They just
a splash.
Just a splash.
Yeah, it's just a splash, right?
Yep.
So they hit them. They both go for a splash, and they both kind of bounce off or skid off after they hit. Ciampa's ladder fucking broke.
Yeah.
But they both kind of dive head first almost. It looked really dangerous.
Yeah.
Ciampa, I think, rolls a little bit better into it. Gargano, I think, hit a little bit harder. I think Ciampa recovered really well. I think if he wasn't as good, I don't think if his reaction time was as good as it is, I think it would have hit his head. But I think he kind of avoided it by putting up his hands and tucking his head a little bit.
Yep.
From the angle I was sitting, I couldn't see it as well. So after I saw it twice on the network, I was like, holy shit, that was fucking kind of dangerous for both. Like, they were both in the same danger. A little bit more, they would have fucking hit their heads on the mat.
Yeah, this was actually a match that I did go back and rewatch. Yeah, because I remember thinking, man, that looked badass live. And, it must have come off even better on TV.
Yeah, so if I'm not mistaken, one of the Authors of Pain and Gargano are going up for the belts. Yep. And Ciampa goes up and grabs one of the Authors of Pain for the second ladder spot and kind of like German suplex. Not really. He grabs him from the back and kind of like pulls him off and releases him onto a ladder. Almost like a German. Not so much. And he releases him onto it and his fucking ladder explodes and you see shit fly everywhere from the ladder.
Yeah, dude.
I was like, what the fuck? I thought I don't know who it was. One of the Authors of Pain got hurt.
Yeah,
I
remember seeing that and thinking, fuck, this guy's fucked.
Not even from the reaction from him, just from the ladder.
Yeah.
And his pure size falling on it.
It looked really nasty.
Yeah. So they had two major ladder spots, both awesome. Just the first one because it was both of them on the outside and them almost breaking their necks, and the second one with the ladder exploding.
Yeah.
And they were about to win. I think it was right after that. They were about to win. He was unhooking the championships. And Ellering? Paul?
Yeah, Paul Ellering.
He comes in and knocks the ladder over. And DIY can't. I don't even think he might have been up there. I think he was. I saw this twice. I don't even remember. I watched too much shit with MMA and WWE. But the point is, he knocks over the ladder. Johnny Gargano super kicks him. And
I remember that, and I remember thinking, holy shit.
Yeah, this guy took a super kick.
He took a bump.
Yeah. And which gives the Authors of Pain time to recover and come back. So they come back and hit their...
I don't know what it's called, but
it has a cool name. Something powerbomb, where they slam the opponent's backs together when they have them up for power bombs. And then they fucking powerbomb them.
Yeah, they put them to the powerbomb.
And then these guys went up, grabbed the titles. And we have a similar scene of Gargano
They
and
both
Ciampa sitting in the middle of the ring.
they both lost. Gargano kind of leans over.
Oh, you know what we missed right before this? So Ciampa was going to get destroyed by these guys with the ladder spot.
Yeah.
Like he was going to get ran by the ladders. And Gargano sacrifices himself, which adds to the story. It builds the story. Like, so he jumps in front of the ladder and gets taken out by the ladder, which saves Gargano. And then Gargano gets, he's there while, I don't know, gets beat up a little bit more. And these guys get the, then they get power bombed and then these guys get the titles. Spot. So, again, they're in the middle of the ring. The big brother, little brother scene after the loss. Epic scene. Even there would have been all right. It would have been a 5-star. It would have been a 5-star card, in my opinion, and being there live would have just even that much better.
Yep.
And then you have them walking away. And I hate traffic. I hate crowds.
You were about to.
So I book it. I leave. I'm out of there.
And I called it.
Yeah, you called it.
Right
you texted.
before the match. I'm like, these guys are gonna.
You're like, I smell a heel spot or something.
Yep, these guys are gonna.
Heel turn, and I'm like, DIY, and you're like, yep. And I left it at that. I didn't want anything else. But like I said, I hate crowds, so I'm like, I'm out of here, and I leave.
They walked up to the ramp. I walked up the ramp, like by the entrance.
Yeah, and we went a quarter of the way out. We like past the bathrooms and everything. So we were behind the announce tables pretty much, like right on the side of the Titantron.
Yeah.
So we walked all the way in front of the Titantron where you were at section 106. We went from like 10 or 116, right?
Something like that.
We went from like 104 all the way over there. We had really good seats. Yeah. So we moved all the way over there, like almost half of the way across the arena. Because we were heading out our gate.
Yep.
And we're like, let's go peek in. By this time, these guys had walked up the ramp after sitting in the middle of the ring. The cameras were on them.
Yep, they stand in front of the entrance, kind of raise their arms. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, we lost, but it was a fucking good match, and you know we gave it the old college try. And
the college try.
Yeah.
And Ciampa grabs Gargano and throws him into the fucking Titantron.
Yep.
Or into the screen or whatever.
Yeah, into the entrance screen.
Yeah, and he proceeds to beat the fuck out of him.
Yep.
And Gargano sells it really well to where he's like, what? Like he doesn't understand. Like he's so beat up and like confused to where he doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
He's like, what the fuck? So I'm telling you, I'm sitting behind the announce table, and I don't know if it was during the Rude match or right before this match. It was really dark, and I see movement down there. I see like a crew carrying tables, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? I thought they were going to be used in the ladder match. I thought they were going to bring out tables, so I thought nothing of it.
Yep.
And then when I see fucking Ciampa beat the shit out of Gargano, stand on top of the announce table, and do what? John Cena's move, the FU, the attitude adjustment.
Like a fireman's carry.
Yeah, like a fireman's carry drop.
Yeah.
Into the fucking tables from all the way up there, all the way to the bottom. I'm like, wait a minute, those were the fucking tables they were carrying over.
That's funny. That's interesting because I didn't even pay attention to that.
Well, like you wouldn't have seen it because it was like only in front of me. Since I'm telling you, I was sitting right behind the announce table. Only people in that section noticed.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and I was like, what the fuck? I thought it was gonna be used in the ladder match. I'm like, oh, the ladder match is next. Tables makes sense. They'll bust out some tables. But they left them for the end of Gargano's finish, which he fucking turned full heel.
Yeah, he did. He really did go full heel.
Yeah, he went full heel. The crowd is yelling, fuck you, Ciampa.
Yeah, dude, I'm like, it's funny because that's not the kind of reaction that you would get from a crowd at a Raw or SmackDown.
You don't think so?
No. Like, if, like, Tyler Breeze turned on Fandango or whatever the fuck, nobody's going to give a shit.
Yeah.
But this actually meant something.
This meant, it was, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, this actually meant something. And
I did not want him to, I get it. And it's awesome for business, but to tell you the truth, I did not want him to break up. Like, I knew it was coming. I did not want it to happen.
That's the thing. Like, that's what I'm saying. You know, you're emotionally invested in this tag team, whereas somebody like when Goldust and R-Truth broke up, nobody gave a shit.
Nope, nobody cared.
If anything, I cared more about that little thing he did on Raw saying that Goldust is back or whatever.
Look at their build compared to Goldust and fucking R-Truth's build.
It's
like you had these guys tag team going to a cruiserweight classic as enemies, but as against each other, knowing they were going to be a tag team afterwards, and give it all they had, and then come out and win the tag team titles, and then try to win the tag team titles again.
It was all such a great build up.
It was, and
basically a year in the making.
Yeah, and that's what Raw and SmackDown lack. It feels like, I don't know. It feels like someone's in control of the pay-per-views, and everyone else is in control of the show, and they kind of gets mixed up last minute.
Yeah, and a lot of the things that I've heard is that they plan stuff for long term, but then along the way, they change their mind about the stuff they planned originally, and they can't stick to the original plan.
Yeah.
Whereas over here, they do their tapings very frequently within each other to the point where like they don't have that kind of opportunity to change their mind in the way that like Raw or SmackDown, whoever's in charge of that, be it Vince or whoever, they don't have that chance to change their mind.
So for these guys, it's clear it's going to be a feud between Ciampa and Gargano. But what do you see happening for the Authors of Pain? Heavy Machinery, maybe Sanity tag team.
I think Sanity should have a go at them.
Because like we were talking about, the Dusty Rhodes Classic should be soon.
Well, yeah, I think they're gonna start building for that because isn't it like whoever wins gets a shot at the titles? Or
well, I don't think they should be in it if they're gonna.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but like that they're gonna start building for that. They're probably gonna have them because they don't have a takeover coming up anytime soon, so I'm sure they're gonna build. I think something.
It's Brooklyn 3 or something like that.
Yeah, that's in August, so they need to start building something now for August, which I'm thinking might be Sanity.
Sanity?
Yeah, that's what I'm willing to bet.
Heavy Machinery for me. That's my pick.
Or Heavy Machinery.
Not saying that's like the best, but like right now, I don't think they have other options.
They don't have a lot of options.
They can if they start They have pieces they can put together.
Is TM61?
They were injured. I don't know if they're back. I've never really been too sold on them. The Aussies.
Me either.
But because
I remember trying to figure out, is that a Pokemon thing?
Yeah, right.
I still don't know what that is.
It's Fury Swipes, I believe. I think that's
TM61.
Yeah, I think it's Fury Swipes, I believe. So yeah, again, awesome fucking story built over time. That's how you're supposed to do it. Whoever's running NXT, I hear it's Triple H. Right. They're doing it right. So I'm bringing this to an end. Thanks a lot, everyone that was listening, anyone that tuned in. Follow me on YouTube, follow me on Podbean or on iTunes if you just want the audio. If you don't want to watch me on YouTube, you can find the audio on those other two spots. Drop any questions you guys want me to answer. Hit the subscribe button, drop some likes. I want to thank you, Monsoon Mendez, again for coming in.
Hey man, I love Full Heel Podcast.
I love you, bro.
I love you too, man. I love here right now.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Dude, anytime, man.
Thanks for all the love I've been getting recently, all the views I've been getting, all the people hitting my RSS feed. I should have done this a lot sooner. I had just put it up on YouTube. I should have put it up on just audio because that's how we started it. And I kind of got diverted into YouTube, and I kind of started with the camera things, and I just never threw it up on iTunes or anything. And now it's up there. I'll throw up the other 10 episodes, and then I continued it from there. And whatever's on YouTube is on YouTube, and it's going to stay there. And I got rid of the numbers on YouTube, and I'll continue it from there on out. The first 11 or the first 10, and then I started 11, all my audio ones. Again, everyone, thanks for listening. Shout outs to Talk is Deep. Shout outs to Monsoon Mendez. Shout outs to the rewrites. And shout outs to you guys. I love you fucking bastards. Thanks for fucking tuning in. And stay tuned for Saturday. I'm going to come at you guys with an early Fight Club. It's going to be like at 1 o'clock. So I love you, freak bitches. Take it easy.